The people's favorite gospel station.
Nothing like a smooth transition into the midday. Be sure to tune to The Shift Monday to Friday at 12:30 p.m. with Joinae Gibson on Glory 93.9 FM. The freshest wave of glory to hit the Bahamas.
Hey, it's an amazing day here at Glory 93.9 FM. It's 12:30, so you know exactly what that means. You are tuned in and, of course, always locked and loaded on the shift with yours truly. I pray that you're having an amazing day today, and I want to say thank you for tuning in to Glory FM. Thank you for all those tuned in on Facebook, YouTube, and, of course, our worldwide listeners. I have a quote here that says, "I'd hit the ground, but I'll bounce back." By definition, to bounce back means to quickly recover, to quickly gain strength or regain strength rather, or return to a previous successful state after experiencing a setback. And I want to say this to you. There are many of you that are listening today that you are experiencing setbacks. You feel that every time you take maybe 4 steps forward, you take another 5 back. But this quote is simply saying, every time you hit the ground, every time you get to that low place, every time you feel like you're at your wit's end, nothing is working, nothing is happening, somehow, some way you quickly recover. And, you know, if we're honest, you've hit the ground before, not stumbled, you didn't slide, you didn't slip, but you literally hit the ground. And I'm talking about that kind of hitting the ground that knocks the wind out of you, that throws you off balance, the kind that makes you question your strength, your ability, your faith, even your future. But what I've learned is just because you hit the ground, it doesn't mean that you have to stay there. It doesn't mean that that's your final place. Some of us have taken blows in our relationships, in our friendships, in ministry, in business, in private battles that no one knows about. And as a matter of fact, we're not even ready to testify about. And yet we are still here. Yet you show up every day, you do your job, you show up in that friendship, you show up in that relationship, that friendship, ministry, business, in your private life, however you want to put it. You show up and you operate and you bounce back in a way that's undeniable. And my encouragement to you today is, although you may be experiencing what feels like the bottom, although you may be experiencing what feels like the roughest season or the roughest time of your life or the most difficult area in your life, I want you to know that you will bounce back. It's sort of like, I know this Bahamian culture, you know how we say, to some people who say, oh, after you have a baby, you bounce back. You have that bounce back body. You are able to bounce back no matter the circumstance, no matter how difficult the situation may be, no matter how difficult life may seem. You have the ability to bounce back from everything. You have the ability to shift your life in such a way that when you hit the ground, that ground catapults you, it pushes you, it thrusts you into your next level. It thrusts you into that new version of yourself. It thrusts you into that next level, even in ministry or in your marriage or in your friendship. It's the beginning of resilience. It's the beginning of new strength. It is the beginning of the second wind that you need. I want you today to know that whatever it is, whoever you are, wherever you are, no matter how difficult the situation may seem or even B, you have the ability to bounce back. You have the ability to move from what seems like underground and reach the heavens, literally. You have the ability to shift your life in such a way that, watch this, it doesn't just amaze the people around you, but it leaves you dumbfounded. And you say things like, God, I could not have imagined it would turn out like this. I could not have imagined that it would be like this. And maybe that is your next level. Maybe that is your test today. And this is just a confirmation that you will make it. You will survive. And a lot of times, people see you operating or thriving or functioning or being anointed or being gifted or whatever it is. And they don't know the level of difficulty it takes just to show up as you, just to get aside from your own feelings, your own personal self-limiting beliefs. But because you are listening to this today, it is a sign that you are going to bounce back. Shifters, it's time to lock in. Whether you're cruising in your car, maybe listening to Glory FM, right? Catching us on Facebook, YouTube, or worldwide listener, I want to say thank you for tuning into today's show. Be sure to like and share, of course, this live broadcast. We are locked and loaded every Monday through Friday, same time, same place. Hey, Mr. Ferguson. Same time, same place, favorite station with your favorite person. Now, shifters, you know that this is an interactive experience. I need you to type in the comment section. I need you to use the call and text line. Holy Ghost. Okay, well, the text line today. The text line, call and text line. The call line today is 242-827-2543. And of course, the text line is 242-817-2544. Now, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and all social media platforms. That is at Joinae Gibson. And of course, at Glory 93.9 FM. Be sure to get in those comments section and let me know that you are locked and loaded with me today. And I'm going to dive right into today's topic. Today's topic, for all those listening, and yesterday, first of all, I'm moving too fast. Yesterday, I want to say, shifters, you guys were locked in so heavily before, during, and after that show. We talked about standing on business or standing in pride. Now, if you missed that show, I invite you to go rewatch it, because I had to go back and really make some mental notes for myself. Are we standing on business, or are we really just standing in pride? And ironically enough, I went to church, and the subject was pride. Well, a part of the subject was pride. So it just really lets the urgency of change required by God for us to move to this next place. Right? Now, today, I want to start by saying thank you to all the shifters. You tune in every Monday through Friday. You are here with me day in, day out. And sometimes when you guys have to work, you message Joinae, listen, I have to go to work, but I'm going to rewatch. Or you say, hey, I'm on, but I can't type because I'm listening. I just need you just to keep talking because all of this is so good. Listen, I appreciate your listening air every day. You're on this journey with me, and I promise you, I can't take it lightly. I do not take the shifters for granted, and I want you to know every day that I love and appreciate your unwavering, undying support. All right, now let's go straight into today's topic. Today's topic is growing from your pain. Growing from your pain. I can say, undoubtedly, the problem with most of us is that we don't respond well to pain. Every time we hurt, we quit. Every time you hurt, you have to retreat, or you have to take some time and go and figure out yourself. You have to take a trip. You have to do something. Anytime life becomes difficult or something painful happens in life, we automatically go to retreating or quitting. As a matter of fact, we use spiritual language to cover it up, and we say things like, if your left hand offend you, cut it off. But the real issue, or a part of the issue, may be that we don't respond well to pain. We go for that Advil, we go for that Motrin, be it natural or spiritual, and we look for ways to cause that pain to lessen, cause that issue to still really be there, but not really feel the pain from it. I watched a TikTok video, and it was a pastor, and he was talking about, he said, sometimes you have to be betrayed. You have to get less from people who you gave more to. Your heart has to be broken by somebody that you lifted up off of the ground. Tough, right? You have to be abandoned by someone you saved from maybe a difficult or a burning building, if you would. You have to go through hell before you can get heaven. And I thought about this for a while, and I thought about how pain is universal. It is no respecter of persons. It does not look for gender. It does not look for color. It does not look for race, right? No one escapes it. Not in family, not in friendships, not in marriage, not in ministry, not in leadership. And the real question really isn't, will I experience pain? But rather, the real question is, what will I become because of it? Pain will either make you bitter or make you better, but it will not leave you the same. So the kind of change that you have went through or going through or will go through, based on the level of pain, it can either make you better or bitter. Now, I can speak from both sides of this because I have had pain that has made me better, and then I have had pain that has made me bitter. And whether we like to address it or not, many of us find ourselves in this same place, dealing with pain in your family, dealing with pain in your friendships, dealing with pain in your marriage, dealing with pain in ministry, in leadership. And you thought that you would never find yourself at this point. But like I mentioned earlier, the real question isn't that, will I experience pain? No, that's not the real question. The real question is, what will I become as a result of this pain? Some people become softer. Some people become wiser. Some people become more guarded. I'm gonna say that again. Some people become softer. Some people become wiser. Some people become guarded. And some people become hard. Pain changes you in a way that I almost can't even find the word to describe it. It can change you in a way that really shapes everything that you experienced and will experience in life. And, you know, I want to set this foundation for all those listening via Glory FM, all those on Facebook, all those on YouTube, and of course, our worldwide listeners. Pain always changes you. Let's start there. It will always change you. The issue is the direction. And I'll just start there. Have you ever been in a situation? And of course, for this, if you don't want to type in the comment section, you can use the text line. The text line today is 242-817-2544. Or, of course, you can use the shift line. And the shift line is 242-823-9939. Right? Today, we're talking about growing from your pain. Pain always changes you. We've set that foundation, but it's really just a matter of the direction. Okay. Some may ask, okay, Joinae, what is pain? Pain isn't just physical. It is more than just someone slapping you or punching you or, hurting you or harming you. But there is emotional pain as well. That's rejection, betrayal, disappointment, loss, failure, being overlooked, being misunderstood, being embarrassed publicly. Pain exposes really where we're most fragile, right? Pain, and I have so much here that I want to share with you, right? Pain is a teacher. The question is, are we really students? Pain usually hardens people, right? And I'm going to give a few scenarios here. So you have the person that pain would make them softer. It would make them more empathetic. They show more empathy. They understand person's feelings, or, they can relate. Pain can cause that, right? And then on the flip side, pain can make some people really hard and callous and cold. Some people don't grow from pain. They grow and become more guarded. So that's why that last relationship, that infidelity, that betrayal, that lie, that failure, that rejection started to weigh on your heart. And it becomes a lot more difficult to reach you, or a lot more difficult for you to open up, because pain caused your heart to become more guarded. I'm reminded, and I'm always, really fascinated with this story with Jesus, him knowing his betrayer. And I think about how many people in life we know, if we're honest, we know have ill intent. They don't want to see you make it. As far as they're concerned, they will tell you to your face, you are nothing. You will never be nothing. Don't ask me nothing. Right? And I think about how, as humans, we label those people. Oh, I don't mess with her. Oh, I don't mess with him. Oh, I don't go there. I don't do this and I don't do that. And then we look at the life of Jesus, and he has his betrayer at the Last Supper. Now, it could just be me, but Judas was getting hungry. Judas was gonna have, listen, no bread, no grape juice for you, Judas. No bread, no blood. Because why? And we look at, I really observe it, and I'm making light of it, but it's really serious, right? I look at the life of Jesus, and he knew his betrayal. He knew. Darius say hungry. No, Judas was been hungry. Both white. Both all the bridal was been ran. Judas mode, because I'm not feeding you. You will starve. But see, when I look at the life of Jesus, and him understanding, and really, he knew that pain was coming. He knew that pain was coming. He was actually preparing for pain. And J Dub says, I would have been throwing shade the whole night. Whole night. One like me? No. Judas wasn't going to sleep. Judas wasn't got that time of day. Right? But Jesus understood. And boy, we really got to live like Christ for true, Jesus understood that the pain of my assignment, the pain that I'm going to have to endure, Judas, it's minute. It's insignificant. Hey, Joinae, it's insignificant based on what I'm about to deal with. And when you start to look at your pain or your betrayer or that failure or loss or that embarrassment, that public embarrassment or being, misunderstood or, rejected, when you start to look at these things as minute in comparison to the purpose and in comparison to the call, then you can feed your betrayal. Darius say, this is funny. Darius said, they would have just been peeling me off of Judas. No, seriously. Judas may have gotten these hands because when you go and betraying the Son of God, something. All right, I digress. I say that to say some of us, we don't know how to grow from pain. We don't know how to grow from betrayal. We don't know how to grow from failure. We don't know how to grow from being misunderstood, overlooked, rejected, abused, misused. We don't know how to grow from that. All we know is the pain that we feel in that moment, and we're going to build ourselves up in a way that it will never happen again. Talk the truth and shame the devil. How many times have you said, well, you get me once, you can get me again? I tell you that. I'm not going to allow another friend to betray me. I'm not going to allow another person to do this. I'm not going to allow another male. I'm not going to allow another female get away with what I let this next person get away with. Tell the truth. And the real reason why pain really hardens us, it is simply because it is spiritualized. We try to suppress it. We try to ignore it. And because we've done these things, it turns into that individual's identity. So all you know about yourself is this painful situation. Imagine if Jesus' whole point at the cross was Judas. Instead, he starts and he says, listen, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. See, we're not there yet. Unprocessed pain, y'all hear me good. Unprocessed pain becomes your personality. It becomes your personality. It becomes, hey Crystal, it becomes a part of who you are. And you feel like because you've spiritualized it, you feel like because you've suppressed it, you feel like because you've ignored it, it's gone. You feel like because you're still smiling, you feel like because you're still trying to remain cordial, that it's gone. You can't trust anyone anymore. When you don't manage that pain, it becomes projection. You project your thoughts onto everyone. One of the most dangerous, and I want you to get this. One of the most dangerous things you can do with pain is refuse to feel it. See, we don't like that, and we don't talk about that. We don't talk about sitting in that pain because society tells us, church tells us, family tells us, listen, you got to toughen up. And you got to power through. So you laugh it off. You stay busy. You distract yourself. You say things like, I'm fine. You try to suppress it. But What you refuse to feel will eventually be what you express. I shared this before on the shift, the story with Gabby Douglas, and it was a Netflix documentary, if I'm not mistaken, right? So, long story short, she is at the peak of her career and she cannot figure out why she can't function, why she can't do the things that she's been practicing. And she had to pull out of the Olympics, and, you know, everyone, was really upset with her about it because we banking on you. We need you to bring this medal. We need you to win. We're excited for you. Why can't you function? And some of you are, if you're honest, are operating just as Gabby Douglas, where you at the peak of your career, the peak of whatever that is, the peak of ministry, however you want to put it. I want you to find your lane, and I want you to tailor it to that. You're at the peak of whatever that big, great thing is that's happening in your life. You're newly married, you're newly divorced, you're just started dating, you're just engaged, right? But you're not really sitting in the moment. Why? Because there was another moment that went unresolved, that you suppressed, that you laughed off, that you constantly, those people who constantly work just so that they're not by themselves, or they don't spend time with their thoughts, that you distract yourself and you say things like, I'm fine. And what you refuse to feel, you will eventually express. So when she got to the Olympics, she now cannot operate because of something that she refused to deal with. I don't want to misquote the story, but there was something that happened with her coach that, went unresolved, and she didn't process that pain. She didn't process that trauma. So it comes out in a way that you cannot control. It comes out in anger. It comes out in isolation. It comes out in addiction. It comes out in emotional numbness. Suppressed pain does not die. It does not go away. It waits. It waits for the right moment. It waits for the right person to have you ever, okay, let's say something happened, right? Somebody make you mad, right? Somebody make you mad and you let it go, or you think you let it go. Hey, Nashonda, you think you let it go, and you can go all about life and you feel like this thing is never coming up again, or you're not lashing out and you're not freaking out and you're not doing all these extra stuff. And it takes the right person on the wrong day to say the wrong thing, and you just let it rip. But crash out. You crash out. You don't care about nothing. You don't care about nobody. And it seems random. It seems, and it's usually, and I'm going to help you, it's usually a situation that doesn't even require that kind of response. But where you have suppressed that feeling, suppressed that anger, suppressed that pain, suppressed that hurt so long and so much, it waits. It waits for you to be at the peak of whatever it is. Big job interview, and you have some interviews like you in a boardroom and it's a few persons just there to observe you, or however, you wait till everybody is in the room and you say, something, let it rip. See, when you don't deal with that process pain, and I don't want you to think that I'm saying this from a judgmental standpoint, or I'm trying to bash you, but I'm really trying to bring awareness to how dangerous suppressing that pain, suppressing that hurt is for you and is for your destiny. And I go back constantly to the story of Jesus, where the moment he hits the cross, he talks about forgiveness. He talks about letting go all of what was done and with what will be done to him. When you start to suppress that pain, when you start to ignore it, when you want to isolate it and put it on the back burner, that, you know, you detach yourself from a part of your reality. So sometimes people go through so much pain. They go through so much difficulty. They go through so much shame. They go through so much disgrace and public embarrassment that detachment is a survival mechanism. That in order to survive this, I have to pull myself from the reality. And it's the mind, it is the mind's way of saying, listen, this is too much, this is overwhelming, let me disconnect. So you find yourself emotionally numb. You don't feel anything. You don't want to feel anything. You feel disconnected from your own story. You start to feel like life is just happening to you. It's almost as if you feel like you're watching your life happen in front of you. You're watching people do things to you. You're watching certain things happen. And it is a survival mechanism that the brain tells you, listen, this is overwhelming. This is a lot to handle. Because don't forget, our brains are wired to protect us. So anything that looks like it's going to be harmful to you, the brain will try or send signals to the body to block it. So your whole nervous system, everything about you tenses up. It tries to fortify itself to brace for quote unquote impact. So you're emotionally numb. You barely could remember certain memories. You have experiences. You have birthdays. You have anniversaries. You have times where you genuinely just cannot remember. It's a blur. Your childhood is a blur. Even in psychology, they unpack those suppressed memories. Anyone knows blacklist? Like, you know how they do Liz brain? You have to be a blacklist watcher to understand, right? But they took her through a process of suppressing those memories. So she has no recollection of it. Everything is blurry. Everything is in part. And if you find yourself today operating from that place, it means that there is a level of pain, or the pain in that moment can feel so big, so insurmountable, that it causes you to want to detach. I want to say this to you. Protecting yourself is not healing. Protecting yourself is not healing. And detachment may help you, you're protected in the moment, but it prevents the work that needs to be done later. You cannot heal, and I know I'm not alone when I say this, you cannot heal what you don't address. You cannot heal what you refuse to honestly acknowledge. And sometimes that looks like sitting, talking with someone professional. Sometimes that looks like, and based on the level of pain, based on the amount of pain, based on how you process and how you view things, you may need professional help, and that's okay. But what I don't want you to do is continue on living life through this blurred, everything is almost like a trance. You cannot heal what you refuse to honestly acknowledge. And it takes a great level of maturity to say, something, I'm hurt. This hurt me, and this changed my whole perspective on relationships. This changed my whole perspective on church, this change my whole perspective of family, this change, it changed my whole perspective of friendship. Be honest. And that is what leads me to my next point. Pain does not necessarily have to harden you. It can refine you. I've talked about this before. And it is simply alchemy, alchemizing. Now, historically, alchemy was the process of turning base metals into gold, right? Now, emotionally, alchemizing means transforming something painful into something purposeful. And I'm going to say that again. Historically, alchemy was the process of turning base metals into gold. Historically, if you go and research it, that is what alchemy, that's the base of alchemy, right? Emotionally, alchemizing simply means to transform something, or it means transforming something painful into something purposeful. So when you start to alchemize that pain, alchemize that rejection, alchemize that being overlooked, alchemizing all of the painful situations that you may have gone through or maybe even will go through later on in life, it is not denial, it's transformation. It means that I am refusing to let this pain remain raw. It will not define who I am. It will not cause me to harden. It will not cause me to lash out. It will not cause me to crash out. But I am using this difficult situation. I'm using this difficult circumstance. I am using this pain to teach me something. And yes, some may say, that's over spiritualizing it. But what is it if you let it harden you? Alchemizing pain simply means refusing to let it remain raw. It must become refined. Yes, Evangelist Harris, you're absolutely right. So now that breakup, that divorce, that separation, that infidelity, that betrayal, that lie, that public embarrassment no longer becomes a crutch, but it becomes wind to propel you forward. See, we don't talk about alchemizing pain a lot because what we love to do is rehearse the pain. We have to go over in our mind. We have to tell everyone the story. Oh God. We have to we have to tell our story because in our mind, we don't deserve this. And be that as it may, it happened. Now what? We can go on and on all day of, getting to the root why this person did this to me and why this person said this and why I feel this way, and building emotional intelligence and building all of these things, and self-confidence and good self-talk and all of these other things. And you could build good self-talk right on top of that pain. So by the time, if you don't see your words of affirmation, if you don't get your words of affirmation, when you get out of bed on your bathroom mirror, your day goes left. Why? Because that pain is still under those words of affirmation. Alchemizing that pain causes you to refine that difficult situation. Another word that I came up, I stumbled upon is to transmute. To transmute means to change the nature or the form of something. So in scripture, it looks like, if any man be in Christ, he is a new creature. So you transmute, you change. It looks like caterpillar, butterfly, right? Transmuting pain simply means, and this is emotionally now, it simply means converting emotional energy into growth. So betrayal turns into boundaries. You know, okay, well, this is a mistake that I made, and I'm not going to make that again, but I'm not hard. Rejection into confidence. Not, see, when it's done the wrong way, the rejection transmute into pride if it's done wrong. All right. Disappointment into discipline. That's one we don't like. All right. Heartbreak into compassion. Transmuting is simply choosing what your pain becomes. I don't want you to think that I'm just, throwing all these things out here at you, and, it sounds good when we transmute and we alchemize, but I want to really give you some practical steps on how you can actually alchemize pain. I have something here as well. The first step is acknowledge it. You name that pain. This hurt. This broke me. This disappointed me. You cannot transform. I want to get this for you, and I really hope I have it here. Oh man, I thought I did. Okay. You can transform what you don't admit. See, and yesterday we talked about that pride, right? Pride can cause you not to alchemize pain into purpose, because pride tells you they know what they did. I don't have to say that. They know how they hurt me. I don't have to say that they hurt me. They should have known what I was thinking. They should have known that would have bother me. I don't need to say that. But you refuse to acknowledge it, and because you refuse to acknowledge it, there's no transformation. I want to ask a question. Do you think it's difficult to acknowledge things like this? Why is it difficult? I want to hear your thoughts. The text line is open. It's 242-817-2544. Or you can use the shift line, and that is 242-823-9939. Why is it difficult to acknowledge something hurt me? I want to hear. Maybe it's something I'm missing here. I'm waiting on you. I want to hear your thoughts. Why is it difficult to acknowledge something hurt me? I could tell you one off the bat, because first of all, I don't need you to think I'm soft. You can imagine just being around it all day. That hurt me. People are going to look at you like, that hurt you? Especially if you have a tie. That hurt you? Please tell me. Tell me. I want to hear. Okay, there is something that I want to get for you, and I hope that I can get it before the end of today's show. So we're going to move, right? So Why is it difficult to acknowledge it? First of all, we're going to be judged. Since y'all don't want to say, we're going to be judged. No one wants to, or we feel like we're acknowledging it when we rehearse it. That's a delusion, right? But the truth of the matter is, and I can't say this enough, if you don't acknowledge it, you can transform it. I had a conversation today with someone, and, I talked about, taking accountability for my actions or non action, taking ownership of what I did do and what I didn't do, not blame, not throwing it off on someone else, not making someone else's feelings or their whatever to feel like I don't value it. But I started to take ownership after acknowledging the painful situation. I took ownership of my role. Okay, see, we don't want to go there. We don't want to get down with the get down. Why? Because pride. Because no, you hurt me. No, you rejected me. Growth begins when you stop, and I know you can hear me good. Growth begins when you stop rehearsing the story and start examining it. Let's really dissect this story. Let's really see the role that I may have played that could cause this to happen. And this does not excuse someone treating you away or being away. But when I acknowledge it, see, and it can be something even as simple as saying, I take ownership for staying when I know it was toxic. Not saying that whoever or that person had the right to treat you a particular way, but taking ownership, saying, you know something, I shouldn't. From I saw this red flag, I shouldn't have stayed. So the first one is acknowledge it. The second one is take ownership. The third one is extract the lesson. What is this teaching me right now? What is it that I'm not getting? What strength did I need to develop? If you want to take it there, what revelation should I gain from this? How can I help someone walk through this same thing and not make the mistakes that I made? Because whether we accept it or not, pain carries information. It teaches us something. What boundary did I learn? Evangelist Harris says, yes, take responsibility. See, we don't want to do that because no, why am I taking responsibility and I'm playing the victim? Uh-oh. Why am I saying that I really was wrong? That doesn't help my victim narrative that I want to let everyone else know. So acknowledge it, right? You acknowledge it. You take the ownership. You extract the lesson. Fourth one, and our time is almost come and gone, you reframe it. When you reframe, it doesn't mean that you are pretending that, oh, I just love pain and I just wanted this pain to work out for my good. No. It's asking, how can this refine me? And you don't control what happens to you or what happened, but you do control what it produces. You redirect that energy, right? And instead of becoming bitter or instead of becoming angry, you build. Instead of rehearsing what they did and what they didn't do, grow. Because we can sit down and gossip with our friends and crack jokes and say how, this bothered me. And girl, could you believe he said this? And girl, could you believe he did that? And girl, could you believe she said this? And girl, and we could go, trust me, we can go on. Let us hit a nail or hair salon. Instead of bitterness and becoming cold and callous, why not build? Why not work on you? Instead of gossiping, instead of the smear campaign that you have on these people, why not grow? Instead of isolation and assuming no one has went this way before, no one has experienced this level of pain before, why not seek wisdom? Why not seek professional help? And I'm going to stick a pin right there. The real reason why we can't grow from our pain, because we love the victim role. We love that place of isolation. We do not want wisdom. We do want conflict all the time. You want everyone else around you to remain the villain and you the victim in your story. Every time you tell your story, oh, woe is me. They had the wind blowing from the east, and I couldn't even understand why they would let the wind blow from the east. Instead of revenge, and I know I'm talking good. Instead of revenge, see the hand? That lick back that you won't get. Instead of revenge. See, I don't want to take it there with the shifters. I don't want to take it there. That's a lot. But you won't get your lick back. A faithful shifter say, you go in there. I love this. No, instead of getting that lick back, and I don't know, something just tell me stick on that. Instead of getting that lick back, doing what they did to you and more. I want you to hear me in the spirit. Oh God. Elevate. Instead of revenge, elevate. That's transmutation. That's alchemizing pain into progress. So and we're going to wrap up today's show, and I'm going to go over those points, 5 points and a few. But even on your job, let's say you get overlooked for a promotion. When you are locked in with that pain, your response is bitterness, your response is withdrawal, your response is sabotage, your response is gossip. But the alchemized response is skill development. How about that? You said I couldn't? Watch me. Self-reflection. Okay, I did this wrong, I did that wrong, and maybe I'll get the promotion next time. Discipline. Being disciplined enough to know I'm not just going to start this work because I want this promotion or I want this next level, but I'm going to make this a part of my everyday life. Strategic positioning. You position yourself for success. Same pain, different outcome. That's alchemy. And even in scripture, it talks about refining through fire. And it's a running joke, right? And we know we have the Chandler Moore concert coming up on February 27th that I'll be hosting. Me and my friends have this running joke that we don't want Chandler to sing I Want to Be Tried by Fire, because we don't want to be. I don't want to be tried by fire. I don't want you to take everything away from me, Jesus. Right? But fire destroys some things, but it purifies others. And I say that to say that pain will either consume you or it's going to clarify you. And it really depends on how you process it. Alchemizing pain is not about becoming hard or acting like this thing never happened. It's about becoming whole. It's about transmuting that pain. And not only that, if you don't transmute that pain, you will transmit it. Everyone you come into contact with, you will transmit that pain. To your spouse, to your children, to your church, to your co-workers. But if you process it, you will literally break cycles and generational curses. And that is growth. Don't let what hurt you be a waste. Let it grow you. So that looks like 1, acknowledging it. 2, taking ownership. 3, reframing it. Oh no. Wait, I missed one. 1, acknowledging. 2, ownership. 3, extract the lesson. 4, reframe it. And 5, redirect the energy. Well, that's it for the shift today. And I want to say thank you for all those tuned in via Glory FM, all those on Facebook, YouTube, and of course, our worldwide listeners and our anonymous texters. That was just saying, go Joe. I love this topic today. I want to say a special thank you for staying with me this entire hour. And I want you to know it's not your only opportunity. Every Monday through Friday, same time, same place, favorite station with your favorite person. I want you to know on the 27th of February, 2026, we are locked and loaded, and your girl will be hosting for the first time, the Chandler Moore concert right at the Beach Soccer Stadium. I want you, please, please, please get your tickets. Get your tickets. I need you. I need all the shifters in place. Okay. So please don't let me down. I'm going to be looking for you. I'm going to give you a special shout out. And I want you to be in that experience with me, just as you and I are on this journey every day, Monday through Friday. And with that being said, until next time, keep it locked and always loaded. Do enjoy the rest of your day. This is Better by Jessica Reedy.
I used to be so broken, lost, empty, a heart with no beat, a singer with no song to sing. So I know the feeling, the silence is deafening, but in your pain lies a blessing, a sweet and sour victory. So keep walking, 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 though it seems so far. No matter who you are, see there's one thing that I know. Life, it can leave you so bitter, 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 bitter. But you must believe that it gets better, better, listen to me. I know you're scared, your heart's bleeding. But what are you gonna do now? I think it's time you break free and keep walking, 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 though it seems so far. No, it doesn't really matter who you are. See, there's one thing that I know. Life, it can leave you so bitter, 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 bitter. But you must believe that it gets better, 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 better. It's alright, dry your eyes, send a prayer to the sky. I know it's hard to find, but you must believe that it gets better, better. Oh yeah, almost out of here. See, I was almost